Welcome back to the Death Series. This is episode 14. Today we're going to talk about our friend Harry Houdini. Okay, so we're going to basically get into story time about this man. I don't know why we're obsessed with Harry, and again, remember he passed away on Halloween. Okay, so we're going to look back at his last performance before his death, okay? So, again, Harry Houdini, he died in Detroit on Halloween back in 1926. And for those of you out there who are wondering, we're also going to get into an article about how him and his wife had never had any children. And what's really crazy is because when you're so creative and so amazing at, keeping all of us entertained, we want to continue to be entertained with the next generation of people like you, with the crazy stunts that you've done. We want to be entertained. So he was a magician, of course, and he performed his final show. It looks like they're trying to say that was on October 24th in 1926, and this was in Detroit, where he passed away, and they're trying to also say that he was in pain. They said that he was suffering a lot of pain at the time when he was performing in Detroit at the Garrett Theater. And at that time, Houdini was only 52 years old. And what you're also seeing is that, people's health declines. When you get to that midpoint, your health can decline in your 30s. Well, even in your 20s, depending on the stuff you do. But yeah, I would say in your 30s is when you can start getting those pains, for those of you out there who don't know and you haven't made it to that decade yet. But imagine being 52. That was the age he passed away. Okay, so they said he had a temperature of 104 degrees and he had cold sweats, but historians insisted that he go on stage at the Garrett Theater. Okay, so then they said Houdini collapsed right after the show. He made it through the show, though, and was rushed to the hospital. This is very sad. Then they said he died a week later on Halloween at the Grace Hospital. So it feels like his life was about entertaining us, the public, and he got a thrill out of entertaining us, obviously. And yeah, I would say that, we get a thrill when we do things that fascinate us and make us feel good on the inside. And for him, where you guys are shocked and in awe of the things he's doing, that is what made him feel good inside. Especially if you don't have kids to pour your time and energy into, then it's going to be like your hobbies that make you feel happy. So, they said Harry Houdini, the most famous magician to ever live. I want to go to his museum. So they say he died of peritonitis, I think that's how you say it, in room 401 at Grace Hospital, October 31st, 1926 on Halloween. He was staying at the Stotler Hotel for his performance at the Garrett Theater. All three of these Detroit buildings with ties to Houdini's final moments have been demolished. The William R. Hamilton Funeral Home on Cass was where his body was taken and the only remaining link to the master magician. They said the Garrett Theater was located at 1122 Griswold Street, across the street from the American Coney Island. I know where that is. Okay, so what caused Houdini's tragic death has been disputed for nearly a century now. The official cause was listed as peritonitis caused by ruptured appendix. We need to read more about rupturing appendix. That does sound painful. Doctors did perform surgery to remove the appendix. Just imagine being in so much pain right now. You don't care how they rip it out of you. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm in so much pain. Please help me. And you hope the doctors get to you quickly to relieve you of how you're feeling. But also, now's a good time to like the video and please subscribe and share it. And don't forget to check out my first episode of the Death series, where it does talk about Houdini and his life. And also, don't forget to check out the prison series too, because I created that just for you. And we are going to get back to this. Okay, so they said, however, there were witness accounts of Houdini being punched in the abdominal just days before his passing when he was in Montreal. That's not good, people. Okay, so they said at some point a student named J. Gordon Whitehead arrived and asked Houdini if it was true that he could resist hard punches to his abdominal. A claim the magician had supposedly made in public. According to witness Sam Smolchovitz, when Houdini said the rumors were true, Whitehead abruptly delivered 4 or 5 terribly forcible, deliberate, well-directed blows to his stomach. Houdini was still reclined on the couch and had no time to prepare for the punches, which appeared to leave him in considerably a lot of pain. Whatever caused it to happen, Houdini passed in Detroit on Halloween, making it one of the most random yet amazing notes in the city's long history. Oh boy. And they are trying to say that the Garrick Theater building is still around, though it's shuttered. That's what a local is saying. And then they're trying to say the Grace Hospital is a horrible hospital. This is from a local. And then they said, this is not surprising to anyone who has been treated there. This is so sad. Oh, gosh. So, anyway, we are going to also jump into hearing about Houdini and his wife, because that was a part of his life, too. And I know we're all out there curious to try to understand, why did Harry Houdini and his wife, I think her name was Bessie, why didn't they have children? Okay, so they said there was a problem with Bessie. So this article, they're saying they've been sitting on this information for a long time, 16 years to be precise. It's something they've shared with fellow Houdini buffs over lunches at the Magic Castle, but because of the personal nature of it, they should have felt it should be published online or elsewhere. They feel like it shouldn't have been published online. It's the answer to why Houdini and Bess Houdini never had children, and it was told to me by Marie Blood, Houdini's niece on Bessie's side. As far as I know, it's never been revealed in any book or article until now. Why now? Well, anyone who's followed this blog knows I celebrate Bess here and find her fascinating. But she's even more elusive than her husband. We just don't know all that much about her. What I have here is important and maybe even critical puzzle piece that helps farther explain her portrait. It's nothing bad. It certainly doesn't diminish the memory or the legacy of this great woman. If anything, it draws her more into focus and helps us understand the demon she was fighting. So first, they want to tell you the backstory. So they said back in July of 1995, this person was like they traveled to Colorado Springs to hear the late Marie Blood speak, and they was excited to hear the remembrance of Houdini's last living relative. They had exchanged letters with Marie, so she knew they would be there. Her talk was delightful and filled with first-hand memories of her Uncle Houdini and Aunt Bess, and she brought along a few precious artifacts, including a children's book given to Houdini by his half-brother Herman. Okay, so then after the talk, they introduced themselves. Marie said she was impressed that she had come all the way just to hear her speak and invited her to her hotel where they could talk more in private. They settled into the hotel lobby near a large fireplace and chatted for an hour more. Interestingly, they found themselves asking more questions about Bess and Houdini. Marie's memories of Houdini was limited as he passed when she was still a child, but Bess lived on for another 17 years and even lived with Marie and her mother, Bess' sister, for a while. Marie knew Bess very well. One bit of bombshell info was that Aunt Bess smoked. In 1995, this was completely unknown and it blew her mind. Bess smoked. I wrote it down at the top of my notes. Marie told me more things. She said Miss West told Bess's mother that Houdini was born on the boat to America. She said Bess passed on the train in Needles while her sister Marie's mother was feeding her chicken gumbo. She said the dressing room attack on Houdini was not an accident. Whitehead just rushed in and bam, she also told Houdini loved making chicken paprika, which made her smile. Okay, so she said she brought along her copy of The Life and Many Deaths of Harry Houdini, then the first major biography on Houdini in 25 years, and asked Marie to sign it for her, which she did. She said she wasn't really a fan of the book, particularly the author's pet theory that Houdini was impotent, which at the time was getting a lot of press. It even got a mention on Seinfeld. Marie said she knew why Harry and Bess didn't have children and would have told the author Ruth Brandon had she asked, but she said Brandon simply looked over her collection and didn't show much interest in what she had to say about her uncle, so Marie kept the information to herself. Of course she had to ask, so why didn't they have children? Marie leaned close, patted her leg, and said she'd tell them. Now, throughout their conversation, Marie continually emphasized just how small and undeveloped Bess was. This actually delighted Marie as a child because she could wear Aunt Bess's shoes, which were a size 1. Marie said Bess was very frail and often sick, and she never weighed more than 98 pounds. Wow, right, people? But part of this undeveloped nature was a lifelong health problem. Aunt Bess, she said, never had her period in life. She never menstruated. She could never have children. That's why Houdini's remained childless. This is kind of sad. Now we understand, I guess he fell for a woman who had this type of situation going on. Again, please don't forget to like the video and to subscribe. And don't forget to check out the rest of my death series as well as my prison series, people, and please share the video. Also, we're going to jump back into this. Don't forget to check out the episode 1 that, again, it talks about Houdini and his life. That's under the death series. Okay, it's the first episode. Doing some research online, it appears what Marie was telling her is that Bess Houdini suffered a condition called primary anorexia. Never heard of that. According to healthywomen.org, primary anorexia is diagnosed if you turn 16 and haven't menstruated. That's sad. It's usually caused by some problem in your endocrine system, which regulates your hormones. Sometimes this results from low body weight associated with eating disorders, excessive exercise, or medications. This medical condition can be caused by a number of other things, such as problems with your ovaries or an area of your brain called the hypothalamus, or genetic abnormalities. Delayed maturing of your pituitary gland is the most common reason. Wikipedia says that primary anorexia may be caused by developmental problems such as the congestial absence of the uterus or failure of the ovaries to receive or maintain egg cells. Also delay in pubertal development, which leads to primary anorexia. Wow. So then they got into saying this is pretty interesting revelation, but also tragic. By all accounts, the Houdinis loved children and would have enjoyed having them. They poured their affections onto their pets and actually fantasized that they had an imaginary child who grew up to become President of the United States. I like that dream. Bess even told a reporter in 1911 that they had a daughter who was about to be married. They didn't adopt. Well, that's a mystery I don't know the answer to. Now, just because Bess had a condition that made her physically frail, she was certainly not weak in mind and spirit. Bess Houdini, by all accounts, was as much a go-getter as her husband. She looked after a household filled with pets and family, kept Houdini focused on stage and off, wrangled the assistants for his full evening road show, and even made all the costumes. Houdini would say of his wife, "All my fights, when she thinks I am right, she's alongside helping me load the machine guns." Then he was like, one of his favorite quotes comes from a longtime Houdini hater, Guy Garrett, who, after bad-mouthing Houdini in a letter to a friend, added, "Bess is screwy too. Ha, love it. They were two of a kind, the great Houdinis." Hope revealing this personal information isn't a terrible breach of family confidence, but if Marie was willing to tell Ruth Brandon had she been interested, then she was presumably okay with becoming public knowledge. Did she tell Ken Silverman or Bill Cashapp? If so, they didn't include it in their biographies, but she told me, and now I've told you. Yeah, that's Bess right there. Yeah, that's very sad. Very, very sad. This is Houdini's niece. She looks pretty old. Yeah, that's very sad, people. Let me see if I can get you some more photos of Bess Houdini. You know, this is my first time learning about this lady, you know? It's very sad, you know, just hearing about that small fact, but apparently he loved her very much, and that didn't stop him from loving her. This isn't really a good picture of her. It almost makes her look like a man, this picture right here. That's Bess Houdini. She doesn't look very attractive there, and you know, I don't know. It's something he liked better. Here's a much clearer picture. He looks handsome in this picture, but Bess does not look she doesn't really look all that beautiful. He has some nice features, but no, I would say, yeah, but you can't help who you love. So apparently he loves something about this lady, Bess. You fall in love with who you fall in love with, I guess, you know? And, you know, let's see if we can find a few more photos of this lady so you can get a good, maybe this was her once he passed and she always tried to communicate with him. It's just, it's very sad, this type of stuff. It gets to me. But yes, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.